Sandra, my girl, my one, my only, how are you? Yeah. You put me through to the board. I don't know specific names. You put me through. Thank you, Sandra. We speak so. Moi, love you.
Hello.
Hello, the board.
Oh God. All right, Antonio.
It's not working, is it?
It absolutely ain't working.
It's not working.
What's going on?
They don't like to train. They're struggling with the training.
Right.
We're struggling, okay? It's difficult.
Yeah, I mean, there's some terrible results, haven't we? We've had some terrible results. Bournemouth, then Watford. It's embarrassing.
I know. I tried. We win the league last year, you know? It's difficult. Mamma mia, see?
Yeah, what do you, I mean, surely you should maybe thinking about resigning? Is that something you could...
Hang on a second. Let me put you on hold, okay?
All right.
Sandra, it's me again. I forget my agent's name. Can you call him for me? What was that? Thanks, Sandra. Why? No, I'm calling you way too much. Yeah, put me through. Okay, so if I go... Is that you? Yeah, it's agent. Agent now. Talking to agent. Okay. If I go, if they sack me, how much do I get? You put me on... No, don't put me on hold. This will go on forever. 27 million pounds! And if I resign? Nothing. Okay, thank you. Grazie, bye. Oh no, it's me again.
So...
I want to fight. I really... But if you need to sack me, I totally understand. So that, look, the results no good. So maybe sack me. You know, I take the money.
Hold on. Just give me 2 seconds. How much will it cost if we have to sack Antonio? 27 million. Hold on. Hi, Antonio.
It's not working, is it? You sack... What? I want to fight, but no, it's not working. You sack me, it's okay.
I think you're right. I think you should fight. I mean, fight for it. I mean, we can fight for it, I guess.
So I just carry on, I guess.
Yeah, I guess just carry on.
Okay.
We believe in you.
Ciao.
That was fucking long.
Welcome to One for the Weekend, the podcast that gets you ready for the weekend's football action. Generally with a phone call at the start and some top-notch acting there. Antonio Conte going through the ringer at the moment, but we won't just be talking about that. Of course, we'll be talking about the North London derby. Flav has been gearing up for that this week. Just sort of general meditation, bit of prayer and general optimism for the big game this weekend. So we'll discuss that, and we will talk about Antonio Conte in a bit more detail. What the hell is going on there? We've got your favourites as well. Soldiers lost in battle. Those were the days. We're also going to talk about Leicester City versus Man City and what's going on with Mahrez, and some stat nuggets for you as well.
Persisting with that, are we?
We're sticking with that. People like it.
Yeah. How did Rory get on last week? I was ill.
I thought he did all right. I thought he did. He called David Beckham a moron, which I thought wasn't going to get the love that it did. A lot of people are like, no, he is a moron. And even Rory after, he's like, I think I went too far with the moron comment. But I
love Rory. Whenever he's when he's recording or making content, he's definitive. He is generally in life. He makes his statements, even if they're outlandish, and he doubles down on them. Even if he knows deep down, you can see it in his eyes flicker sometimes. Maybe I'm wrong here, but it's entertaining to listen to.
He's fantastic, yeah, and he was great last week, and he stepped in and did very well. But it's good to have you back. Good to have Flames back. Any Flames questions, put them in the comments, and we can advise you next week if you're gearing up for the weekend.
You've got to do a little laugh when you say Flames, otherwise people think it's a joke.
I mean, I've copyrighted it.
All right.
It's there, So don't try that either. Trademarked. Don't waste your time, because the money that we're making, you're not having any of it. Spanish media outlet Sport claim that Conte could pocket 26.7 million in compensation if Chelsea decide a managerial change is required. 26.7 million, because he signed a new deal in the summer after everything was rosy and great. Obviously lost the last 2 games back to back by 3 goals.
But not the first major sort of warning sign for Chelsea this season. They've had some bad results. Burnley very early on.
Still above you though.
Yeah, no, it's not to say that their season's fallen apart. They're in the Champions League. They're in the Champions League places. But the problem isn't that is it the signs of something, the beginnings of things that are going wrong?
Yeah.
And it's better if it is to react quickly than wait around and see what happens. The problem is that
we've always disagreed on that, haven't we, generally?
But the problem is it's a gamble because you don't know really. 2 bad results, and bear in mind, you know, a vast majority of that game against Watford, Chelsea were down to 10 men. Did actually play better when they went down to 10 men. They're kind of starting to force the game, and there's a bit of urgency about them. But if you look back at what Chelsea have done this season, look at the players they've signed and targets they've had in January, there are alarm bells there.
So yeah, I've said it in the office quickly to Rory. What's the reason for the slump? And he just puffed his cheeks out. He was kind of trying to figure out what it was. We sort of chatted about it for a second, but we talk about it now, obviously, because it's a podcast. You think it's player recruitment?
I think that's a part of it. I think there's a lot of things wrong. I think the intensity in which Conte is famous. He's famous for his kind of crushingly intense personality, which is all well and good at the beginning when everyone's like, oh man, this is amazing. You know, we're going to fight for this guy. Look how passionate he is about us. Look how important it is for him to see us do well and for Chelsea to do well. But it can be exhausting, and I think what's happened, and you can only guess in these situations because we don't know the inner workings of the football club, is that the minute things don't quite start to go right, that intense personality turns into becoming something quite overbearing. So I think that's an issue. I think player recruitment, I think they've made horrendous signings, really.
I mean, but at the start of the season, even sort of...
They managed to find the worst player at Monaco. In a team full of stars, and they've bought the worst.
So is that it? Is that Bakayoko's career? Like, you're officially crap for the rest of your career?
I think at Chelsea it's done. Yeah, I can't see I mean, he could come back, don't we? I mean, of course he could under a new manager, new guidance. It's just that he doesn't seem to have it. He doesn't seem to have the quality in order to succeed at the top of the Premier League.
I think it's as much as it's quality. It's it's a mentality thing. He came in, didn't start that well, and. I bet most football fans have seen it. Let us know that player who just totally had a game, and often that game, it's not just one game on its own. It kind of, you lead towards it, and they sort of just totally crumble under the pressure. You saw that with Bakayoko. I mean, the chants that were said, him saying, we'll see your fucking shit.
Yeah, as he walked off. Yeah.
I mean, that for me is so dumb.
It's not going to help.
It's not gonna. There's no chance of that helping.
But football fans do react badly when things are going badly. It's just they always have. I think it's a myth, a bit of a myth that fans are more fickle now. They're not. It's just that the platforms are there for them to voice their dissatisfaction. That chant's been sung for many years. It's just that not everyone had camera phones and not everybody was opportunist.
Maybe, yeah, you're right. They're probably more high profile.
The problem is a part of our media. We're a part of the problem. You got someone who's filming that inside the stand and knowing full well I'm going to post it.
Counterproductive. First of all, knowing it's counterproductive, but yeah, not caring anyway and still happy to post it.
Yeah, because ultimately for some people it's a case of increasing followers and views more so than it is about the health of your football club. I think that's a wide issue. Going back to Chelsea for a second, you look at what they did. The spine of their team, which won them the league last year, is completely changed. Brand new recruitment in every area. So you've got Morata up front. He's a good player, but so far had a miserable time. You've got Bakayoko in midfield, and then you've got Rudiger at the back. If you replace Luis and Christensen as well, but he hasn't played badly, whereas Rudiger hasn't been great. You've got David Luiz, who's gone as well. He's in and around, but But last season you got Luis, you got who am I missing in midfield? Matic, exactly, and then up front Diego Costa. Those three are a better spine. They know the club and they know English football and are more effective. And essentially, you bought
more effective in that way that Conte plays as well. Which is a good point to make.
Yeah, exactly. There's no surprise that Conte's scraping around this season for a target man when in Costa they had a player that could do both things. Number 9, play off the defender and hold up play.
I would say that, and maybe this is devil's advocate, but I think the bottom line is they've been playing 2 games a week since November, and and two important games each time. You know, the semi-finals in the League Cup as well, and I think that just takes its toll. The problem they've got is it's a depth of quality that can get the job done. I think that's what they had last year. They didn't need the same depth, because they weren't playing as many games. But when you've got someone like Morata, he's played it. He's at Juventus and Real Madrid, and he was banging in the goals at the start. I think there's a mental side of it that he's struggled with, because I think bottom line is he's tired, or he has been tired, and that's why he has struggled. And there's been no other options. Whereas last year, Diego Costa played a game on Sunday, gave absolutely everything, waited a week, then played another game, and that's such a huge part of it.
Yeah, he's complaining about squad, but he sold the players. Or Chelsea sold the players.
Yeah, true. And I guess that's
why sell Matic to Man United, who's been fantastic for them? Why ostracise Luiz? Why ostracise Diego Costa? If Mourinho could work with him, then surely Conte. And I think it goes back to his problem, his ego, his inability to. You know, we spoke with Mina Rizuki, who's knows, she's a Juve fan. She reports on European football. She has a BBC podcast. And, we're producing a documentary about Conte and how it's fallen apart for him. It's coming out on the Bull Street channel soon. His inability, or his need for players to work under his system, and his complete dismissal of players that won't, bend to his will, is detrimental to him. But it's also part of what's made him successful as well. At Italy, he played, I can't remember the guy's name, up forward, who played for a very lowly Italian side, because he worked under Conte's philosophy. So there's merits to that, but there's also drawbacks. Giamacci or something.
I forgot his name.
I can't pronounce it.
Anyway, I think you're right. I think he wants that total commitment, and he got it. And often you get that from players at the right at the start of your tenure, because you're the guy who's going to make the decisions, and so there's just a new freshness to it. And I think you're right. There's an aspect there that I'm intrigued to see if he can, one, if he wants to stick around, but two, if he does want to stick around, how does he heal those wounds that he naturally kind of seems to create by wanting that total commitment from his entire playing squad?
I think he has the quality in order to ensure that they finish in the top four. They're not the sixth worst, first 11 or squad. But I think the kind of damage has already been done. I think the relationships, all of this is right? Relationships are suffering and breaking down somewhat. Yeah, at the end of the season, Hazard will be, hankering for a move to Real Madrid, because he's kind of reaching the age where he's going to sign that big contract.
Yeah.
There's a lot needs changing at Chelsea, and I think it starts with the problem, and that's Antonio Conte.
There seems to be a strong feeling that he will go in the summer if he makes it that far.
Yeah.
Next few games are huge for them. West Brom on Monday, then Hull City in the Cup. 2 games which they should be winning. That should be an opportunity to get a bit more confidence, obviously. And then Barcelona, Man United, Man City, 3 huge games. And I think by the end of that group of 5 games, you'll know if he's not taking full points from Hull and West Brom, and then doesn't have a good period out of those 3 other games. Or I guess it's 4 games, isn't it? With the return leg with Barcelona, then that's when you might make the call and get rid of him. But if it's correct in that there's 26 million, is it worth doing something like that when it seems like they've struggled in terms of funds for player recruitment? If they were to do it, here are some of the options.
Yeah.
Gus Hiddink. Of course. The new Alan Kirbishley when it comes to this.
Look, it's so important.
Always an option.
Yeah, it's so important to get someone in you trust and will be able to do the job. And while it's laughable that he'll come in for a 3rd time as an interim manager, he hasn't managed since taking over from Conte. That he's from Mourinho. Yeah, he's a steady hand. He can work with Abramovich. There's no skeletons in the closet with that, and it'll be a logical replacement for Conte at this stage of the season in terms of getting into that top 4.
Yeah,
it doesn't inspire much.
Yeah, and I wonder does Hiddink want it or need that kind of. I don't think it's any kind of pressure like it was last time. There was no need for that. But I don't see. You might as well stick with Conte to the end of the season.
Yeah.
then bring in Hiddink. But yeah, again, we're talking about the summer maybe. Allegri from Juventus. I wonder if Mina has anything to say about Allegri. She's a fan.
Yeah, she rates him highly, and she's fan in the 2 Champions League finals without winning it. They've had 5 in total. Juve, 5 Champions League finals and lost every single time. Yeah, I mean it's hard to know. I can't admit to following Italian football very closely, but you can see the parallels between Conte joining Chelsea, 4-year cycle of a manager. You'd think Allegri might be open to a move. It's all conjecture. As in terms of quality coach, you could definitely, why not go after him? It seems like an excellent opportunity for him and for Chelsea.
Yeah, and I think you saw that with the intensity that Conte shows as a manager, you've seen it work once with Juventus. He obviously replaced him there. Italian sport daily, Corriere dello Sport, they've said that they've agreed a deal in principle already for Allegri to do that, which that will kill Conte, won't it? That will hurt.
His ego is so significant that he can't force them to sack him, and he's not going to walk away from the money. But I don't know how he can stick around knowing that he's been completely undermined.
I wouldn't be surprised if I was Conte. I would really want to know, is it Allegri? Like anyone else but him? Because that does paint such a huge picture in your career on the negative side of it, that he came in at Juventus and did better. I guess the other side of the coin is Allegri could come in and it could not work, and that might wash away a bit of it. Because I think I've certainly heard different people say that Allegri's got a great reputation in Italy and at Juventus, whereas Conte kind of hasn't. And I think that hurts Conte.
He's not well loved by Juventus at all. He was vocal at the time of managing the club he would continue to bring up the time when Juve lost had their title taken away from them under Capello. He would constantly say stuff that would disrupt this image of Juve. They have this what's it called? Juve Stilio or something like that. It's just, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but it's a way the club want to present themselves in spite of all the hatred and kind of venom that's aimed at them because they're successful. They have a way of answering their critics on the pitch, and when Conte was in charge, went in the face of that and went for
went for
2 guns. Yeah. So I think what's interesting as well is that Conte has that Italian job waiting for him at the end of the season.
That will feel like a step backwards, I would imagine, for him.
I think he might feel like he's got unfinished business there. He done very well with them. They weren't fancy to do anything, and he done well in the last international tournament. I think that's a perfect job for him. It means he doesn't have to do anything with Chelsea. He can sit there and do whatever he needs to. Yeah. I think what will happen is if it all goes tits up and continues to go poorly, there'll be some sort of mutual agreement where he gets a payout, but perhaps not the full length of his contract.
If it was me, if I was Conte, I wouldn't want that Italian job right now. They haven't made the World Cup, so there's always going to be, every time that Italy job is available from now for the next 15 years, Conte will be linked to it. Just like Terry Venables was with England, where you go, he's 85, guys, come on. But it will always be there for him, I think. So he should only want to take that job once the squad's strong enough.
I just think that they're at such a low that he can't lose, and he's only going to be. His reputation, if he gets him into the next tournament and then does well, will be, sealed in Italy. And as you say, his reputation's, in terms of club football, is in tatters. So that's not to say he won't get a job. He will. In Milan, AC Milan, whoever. There's massive opportunities for him there. But I think the Italian job is where he's going to go back to.
The final 2 that have been linked with Luis Enrique is the bookie's favourite. I think most people know about him, what he's done, and also the fact that he's on that 1-year sabbatical. So again, that will be in the summer. And Diego Simeone, who's the one. I think that's a really strong fit.
But how secure is he? He seems to be in love with Atletico Madrid. He's had. There's people after his signature. He's done amazing work. He had that kind of purple season where they won the league, and there was nearly won the Champions League as well. But it kind of seems he seems attached to the football club.
He signed a new deal in September, didn't he? As well, a 2-year deal. So I think there would be money it would cost to bring him in, and I guess maybe you're going for a kind of like for like replacement in terms of
Does
the
he want to
style.
come to England? I don't know.
Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know.
Luis Enrique is a massive gamble in my opinion.
I agree.
I don't see what that you know. With an amazing Barcelona team, one that's probably better than the one that is now. He did next to. It was
a treble.
Well, yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
But no, sorry. I was thinking about the way he left the club and the kind of shambles that they became at that time. I don't know if he has the acumen to take that job on. It's not an easy job and it's unforgiving.
Yeah, I think you've got to be obsessed in the Premier League. I'm not sure it's got that. Right, trivia time. Last week we asked you this. Who holds the record for the most Premier League goals scored in a season by a relegated club? A couple of people said Charlie Austin, not a football club. But I know what you're trying to get at. But he did score a lot of goals for Queensborough Rangers. 18, I think it was. Anyway, the answer was Blackpool, who scored 55 goals when they were relegated in the season 2010-11, managed, of course, by
Ian Holloway,
the late great Ian Holloway. Still alive.
Just let it go.
I'm just saying, he did a job for them with a ridiculously poor squad.
Good result last week.
Cracking result for the boys.
Brentford got pumped again. Well,
Brentford are on the rails, really. It's sad to see the club looking like that. I think Dean Smith's got to go, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not working.
No, it isn't. I think the whole setup's not working, really.
Yeah, it's a mess,
the player recruitment, selling their best players constantly. It's like a weird nothing football club. They personify existentialism.
Desolate.
They just exist for the sake of existing because there's a place in the league for them. But other than that, they might as well not exist.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Adam, the producer, is a big time Brentford fan.
Yeah, and if you do want to go to Griffin Park and you're wondering what does it sound like? It sounds a bit like this. Okay. Bulgarian Guna, well done, you got it right. Plum Juice, who also listens to Great Touch for a Big Lad. Thank you, mate. He's got it right as well. K Shaka got it right as well. As did too many people got it right. Sean 12, Abu Waziri, Darren Holiday and John Hewitt, you all got it right, well done. This week, here is a trivia question I've gone, this is tough, this is a tricky one, but do not Google it, please do not Google it, and let us know your guesses in the comments below. Here's a question, which 7 Portuguese players have won Premier League medals?
I've looked at the answers.
Looked at the answers.
But this is, much on that. This is really tough. There's a couple of obvious ones as well, and there's 4 you should be getting. The other 3 are tricky. I don't even know who that is.
Forget the second bit of the name, and you probably will. Anyway, that's not good for people listening. No. So, right, 7 Portuguese people have done it. Who are they? Let us know in the comments below. If you get it right, you'll get a shout out next week, which is fabulous, isn't it? This podcast is brought to you by Fan League. It's a predictor app, 13 English football games that you need to get the right result on. You can get involved in the One for the Weekend League. A lot of new people last week, which was nice to see.
Yep.
I think we worked a bit better by, again, me saying to you guys, if it's not working for you in terms of the initial, download the app, link is in the description, then add me as a friend and then I can add you to the league, then tweet me personally and I'll sort it out. I'll search for you. At James Alcott, ALLCOTT. 11k for the player of the week if you can get 13 out of 13, and you can play for just 20p, which is incredible. So come and get involved. In terms of the One for the Weekend League, it was good. We had a good week. Game week winner was, here's 2 names for you, one difficult, one hard. See if you can guess which one. Kwahi Buna Nakuba, he got 11 out of 13, which I did quite well then, didn't I? Yeah. And Sam Jordan also got 11 out of 13. Well done, guys. Thank you for taking part in the One for the Weekend. Mug roll call.
Well, before that, to get 11, just so you know, because the thing with it's 13 out of 13 is quite difficult. That's why there's an 11k prize, but you still win money for 11 or 12 correct.
That is true. Very, very true. And there's also a 50k season prize pot, so keep playing, and if your average is high enough, then 50k. That's not bad, is it? Mug roll call. Marcus Yanamar, 3 out of 13. Come on.
Mug. Hey, this is the guy who He is family.
And he will want to be treated like everyone else.
And he wants to do better.
He does.
Yeah, and he's in our league and he's bringing it down.
He's bringing it down. Ryan Williams.
Can we boot him out the league?
I don't know. Maybe. Ryan Williams, 5 out of 13.
Is that a mug? Because I got 5 out of 13 as well.
We're scraping the mug barrel this week. We've done well.
Everyone's done quite well. Mug.
And Ben Holcroft, these are just the bottom 3 who played this week.
Yeah.
More importantly, what's annoying is we've gone down 6 places to 222nd in the League of Leagues. Yeah. An average that's gone down to 6.9 when all the players have done well. The reason is, if you've downloaded the app and you're not playing, you're killing us.
Yeah, you are. Because
you're affecting our average.
Yeah, just get in there and play. And actually, if we recruit people, you get a credit. You can pay for free.
That's true.
Yeah.
So so please get involved. Get involved in the One for the Weekend League. We want to go up. We want to get the average up, and there's money to be won for you guys. So do that. It's that time. Adam, get the camera on me.
You have some great ideas, but this isn't one of them.
Stat nuggets. Here we go. Vardy hoping to score. So hang on, let me explain it. Stat nuggets. If you're out there in the, it's difficult out there. You're in the pub. Game comes on. You're like, I don't know what to say. Yeah. You need a stat nugget in your back pocket.
If you're new to football, this is useful to you.
This is good for you, but probably most of the people that listen to this like football, I would imagine.
I'd hope so.
But these are some stat nuggets that you need probably for the Flames. Yeah. Here's some stat nuggets for you to utilise over the weekend. Jamie Vardy that is hoping to score for the 4th straight Premier League game for the first time since that epic 11-game run. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's on fire, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was, and he's been playing very well this season. And it takes something to kind of, you see footballers, they reach their peak and then there'll be this kind of, do you have the mental aptitude in order to rebuild after a season like that? And he clearly does.
Yeah, he does, totally. And we're going to talk about Leicester Man City in a bit. Stick around to the end of the podcast. I'm going to ask Flav, who are his 5 England strikers that he would take to the World Cup?
5?
Well, you generally take 5 or 4. Or if you're Sven, you can take 4.
Yeah.
Here's another stat nugget for you. Man City have scored more than 3 goals in 9 league and European games this season, including an eye-catching rout of Crystal Palace, Liverpool and Watford. More than 3 goals on 9 occasions.
That's pretty good.
Insane. More Man City stats coming up later in the podcast. Crystal Palace. I thought he was laughing at him there, but he just got windy pops. You alright? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Let's carry on. Crystal Palace have won more Premier League away matches versus Everton, who they're playing this weekend, than they have against any other club. Good one, that, isn't it, Flav? You like that one?
Yeah.
4.
Carry on.
Stoke have won 7 of their last 9 home Premier League matches against newly promoted sides, but have already lost 1 such match this season. Great stat. Glenn Murray has scored in 5 of his last 7 matches in all competitions. I really don't like Glenn Murray.
Right, so this is it. I was about to say, Glenn Murray just smacks that play, just like.
My second nap.
Yeah.
You hate it. Thank you.
Why? Why?
I'll tell you why. There's players down through the years I've hated for the exact same reason I hate Glenn Murray. They include Bruce Dyer. Remember him? No. Jeff Horsfield.
Yes.
Grant Holt. Glenn Murray.
You're just talking about like a one-dimensional English forwards.
And they've got the gamesmanship down.
Yeah.
And Glenn Murray's infuriating to watch because all he does is he has no. He's a good finisher, okay, but all he really does is win fouls, and it's infuriating to watch. And he's just
Adam's just nodding.
He just does my head in. He just does my head in. He keeps.
It's like he spends all game trying to wind up the fans.
Yeah.
Just win niggly fouls it doesn't deserve. Just pissing people off, laughing at the crowd like he's getting abused.
Yeah. He's annoying.
Just a quick like a memory that the name Jeff Horsfield brought back to me. I went to watch Spurs play Fulham in a pub, and he absolutely destroyed us by running in one direction and just sort of bulldozering his way through.
Yeah.
Scored a brace and we lost 3-0. It's disgusting. It was a horrible night.
Yeah, sorry, not a fan. That just came out.
Go on.
He has scored in 4 consecutive games in a row in December. Forget that, that's boring. Right. Alfie Mawson has started the last 50 Premier League matches in a row, the longest current run of any player in the competition.
This is
50 games.
Ex-Brentford.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with the money that they were willing to offer.
Another one.
And I don't need this. I don't really want to be here anyway.
You're tiny. Look at this place. Yeah. It's windy on the pitch because the stands are so small.
Yeah. He'd come into training and
I'm sick of being able to tell I know the names of every supporter that's come through the turnstile.
Yeah, he's just there. He's just every morning, just going like that.
Yeah.
And the gaffer come in and go, "What's wrong, Alfie?" And I'm just claustrophobic. This place is tiny.
Tiny. This is a goldfish bowl. It's terrible. Get me out of here.
And final stat nugget for you this week. After taking a maximum of 9 points from their opening 3 away league matches this season, Watford have picked up just a further 5 from their last 30 available on the road. So they're crap away from home, although they did beat Chelsea.
Yes, they did.
Here it comes, Flav. You ready?
What? Look, can we have a quick. What? All right. No, before doing that, quick nod to Carvajal, Swansea.
Mate, tearing it up.
Mate, he is the business, that geezer.
Didn't we say this about Clement a year ago?
Yeah.
He'll be gone.
He'll definitely be gone in a year.
It's
Just saying.
Both these sentences are true. Unbelievable manager. He's done so well. He's really turned it around. He'll be gone by November. It's just like, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, he has done phenomenally well, and I expect them to beat Burnley this weekend as well. Put them down as a banker.
Wow.
In my picks this week. Right, here we go.
Yes.
It's North London Derby week.
Again, it comes around so
Your
quickly.
Favourite week.
It's horrible. Do you have the same feeling that I'm feeling, as you can imagine, when you go up against Brentford?
You must.
I mean,
After the last 5 games, you must.
I'll tell you what I do. That's the good thing about, and I bet all fans have had that, where they kind of rivalries like develop. Now I know Brentford are rivals with QPR. No, like I get it. Both sort of from West London, definitely from West London, and close-ish. But it wasn't. It's only when it really starts to kind of matter in terms of that
On the pitch.
on the pitch. Totally.
But they're better than you.
Currently, yes, they are. But they are better than us. I don't think there's certainly not the same trepidation that you seem to feel during the week, and that you feel during the
It's
week.
just rank.
But if it was
horrible.
the other side, which is probably something that you felt as well, but not for a while, is when we were in the Premier League and we had Chelsea at the weekend, who I know Chelsea fans don't care about QPR, but we aren't great fans of Chelsea. That the fear and trepidation of that derby, what was horrific about it was just the opportunity to get totally walloped.
Tonked.
Which we did. I think it was 5 or 6-0 we lost once.
Have you ever had that when it's horrible, but it's not quite as bad as you thought it would be? You kind of it's something in your brain switches, and you kind of develop this stoical attitude where you're like, do you know what? Fine.
That is, I mean, sort of. It hurts though. It does hurt. But yeah, so this is how big a game is this? In terms of forget the rivalry for a second. In terms of the league standings, will it really? You've had a really tough run of games: Man United, Liverpool, and now this one. You've done, 4 points so far. I think
we've dominated against Man United.
Any more than 4 points,
probably deserved to win against Liverpool. So
yeah. I think. Well, I'm sure people disagree with you, but anyway. Out of those 3 games, I was thinking, any more than 4 points, you'd totally have taken, right?
Wow, the 3
out of that group of 3 games.
Nah, I would have taken 5 points. I wouldn't have taken a loss against any of them.
Okay.
Although Liverpool away was a tough game.
But in terms of it possibly being a disaster, the fact is, that if you're, middle of the road is if you win one, lose one, draw one.
Yeah, but the problem is it depends who you lose against. We couldn't lose against any of them because it's so tight. To lose ground, it's like 3 points to any one of those has a major impact on whether or not you can qualify for the Champions League. Now it's very tight because of Tottenham's results. The draw against Liverpool was perfect for Arsenal because it enabled them to gain points on us. Perfect for Man United, really, because I think it's out of everyone, Spurs are probably the form team. Liverpool was they've struggled in the last month. So, it's important for all of them for Spurs to drop points, and it was really important for us not to get tonked in those 3 games or lose them. So going into this Arsenal game, the final of those 3, it's really important because they're 2 points, 3 points behind us now. Can't quite, and a win for them changes the mood at our football club. A win for us kind of keeps them where they are. It doesn't make much difference. They've still have to hold a high of Ozil sign a new contract and Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan coming in.
They're 4 points off you.
4 points, right? So 7 points if we win is a lot.
Yeah.
And it continues the momentum that Tottenham have built over the last since Christmas, really.
How important are these stats? Harry Kane scored 6 goals in 6 Premier League matches against Arsenal, only failing to score in the last game against Arsenal. Should there be anything read into that?
Not really, because he scores against most teams, but he's always up for the Northumberland derby. He works hard tirelessly in most games, but he doubly loves this game because, as he said in the article that he had published in the Players Tribune this week, Arsenal let him go when he was 8, and his dad broke the news to him, and he's like, every time he played them, the phrase in his head, "We'll see who was wrong and see who was right," and he's still to this day, that's the moniker that goes through his head, and he doesn't have to do that when he plays.
Oh, that gets you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's class.
He doesn't have to do that when he plays Liverpool because he never let go by Liverpool. So, the best striker in Europe is going into that game doubly motivated. So that could explain why he has such a rich fame for him.
And having watched him a few times this season, he totally has gone to a different level this year. His all-round play, I swear he looks bigger.
Yeah.
He looks he's just got such a presence now, which I think he was kind of...
Well, he's a man.
I don't know, maybe you see that as he becomes, the stats build up and you just see that he, how great a footballer he is. When you, on the week of a derby as well, you also start to think about, there's certain things that kind of feed into what could be the outcome of this game that's going to, affect your mood for the next couple of days after that. A few things. So one is Arsenal, the new signings. Mkhitaryan, he assisted 3 goals in 120 minutes of Premier League action for Arsenal so far. Same tally as Sanchez did in 1,507 minutes.
That's the problem with statistics. Is Sanchez had a foot out the door. He weren't interested.
Bottom line is he started well. Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, and bottom line, the game against Everton, as bad as Everton were, Arsenal were. Yeah. There were multiple threats.
Everton were the worst football team to come to Spurs this season. I'm not saying taking any. You got to beat any Premier League team 5-1 is good, but. This will be a tougher night for everyone. But
if you played them, my point is that with as you go into that week, if that week was off the back of the Bournemouth defeat or the Swansea defeat, and there weren't these aspects of it, that would have played a part.
Massive, yeah.
The other side of it is a weird one. Will this play any part? This whole Dele Alli thing, because he's a key player for you, and he's gone through this.
He's got to be the most hated footballer in England, isn't he?
Do you think?
At the moment, by other clubs, yeah.
I think I might have said this in the office, but I can totally see. I can see it on the horizon. He's this World Cup's scapegoat.
Yeah.
He's the Sterling.
Yeah.
He's the guy. It's just there for you.
Yeah, and it is, and because his style of play isn't that pretty to watch. He does amazing things. Don't get me wrong, but his effectiveness isn't immediately obvious because on the ball he kind of slows the play down a little bit. He has moments of brilliance where he nutmegs players and kind of, but it's his running and work rate off the ball which is what makes him so effective. His ability to arrive late, attack the box that causes panic in the defence. Those sort of things aren't really high up on the list of Terry from Clacton-on-Sea.
The diving aspect isn't. It's
yeah.
not helpful.
The diving aspect, the snarling, the backbite, the back chatting. The spitefulness, the kicking out, all of it is. If he didn't play for Spurs, I'd hate his guts.
Yeah, and all of that in the week of a North London derby. You're lucky it's at home because he would have got crucified. Wouldn't he?
Yeah. I think the one thing, and I shouldn't say this because karma, but he's found a position where he can wind up the other people without it getting to him. So he's not getting sent off. He's not retaliating physically where he was before. He has this, in the same way Balotelli did, this kind of smirk. Once he's done something, he walks away from the sieve, he drops a grenade and walks away from it kind of thing. Yeah. Which is great.
It's great when it's your guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's infuriating as the other
side. Yeah, absolutely. Massively infuriating. He does dive, he does simulate, he does. But it's at the end of the season, if we've won an FA Cup or we get far in the Champions League, no one's going to care about his diving. I'm not going to care about his diving. Every aspect of what happens on that pitch contributes to future success. Some of it's distasteful, but I'm sick of Spurs having just been this soft club. It isn't like that anymore. It hasn't been like that for 5 or 6 years. You look at title-winning teams; all of them got spite and nastiness in it. Roy Keane, Vieira, Balotelli. All these all these players have elements of them that are distasteful and perhaps not in keeping with the game, but I don't give a shit about that.
If I was Dele Alli, I'd be very nervous of some form of banner, poster, something being held there that's not going to be what he wants to.
Oh, you're talking about the sex tape?
Yeah, I hope that isn't seen or put up, but I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal fans did that.
I mean,
he could, but if you're Dele Alli, you could do without that.
Yeah,
that's my point.
He could have done without it coming out. We're not even sure it's him. So obviously, as a Spurs fan, I'm kind of interested in what's happening to our players, and if there's things outside of football that could contribute to our club suffering in some way. Obviously, want to take an interest in that. So there's this thing called deep fake, right? And it's often used in adult material, but also it's used in a way a way where there's a program or a software that you can superimpose someone's face on a very grainy looking video, so it looks like them. Like there's facial expressions, it moves around as well. It sort of maps, and I'm not saying that isn't Dele Alli, but I'm saying that the fact that it was an 8-second clip.
It was what? Sorry,
an 8-second clip. The fact that it was clearly shot in the last 3 or 4 years, which means that this weird sort of grainy VHS looking videotape doesn't keep in with modern day iPhones at all. That said, who knows whether it's real or not. It's going to be a distraction to him, and there will be some chance, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and he needs to be switched on, calm. He needs to be really calm in this game, because I think there's
sending offs in the offing.
Yeah, big time. Also, I just want to talk about quickly. We've done a documentary, as we said earlier. Flad's been working on it.
Yeah.
Talking about the rivalry.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I don't know what's it about, and what have you kind of seen from it?
So we spoke to Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV. We spoke to Hugh Wizzy. Spoke to a friend of mine who does the Fighting Cock podcast, and also I was interviewed for it. And it's about how the rivalry. Well, it's essentially asking the question: has there been a power shift in North London? And if so, how has that impacted the rivalry between the clubs? So for a long time, Arsenal fans, rightly so, were very dismissive of Spurs' achievements on the pitch. Forever in our shadow since Otterins Day. And obviously last season, Spurs finished above them for the first time in 26 years. And we're just asking the question, has that changed the mindset in some of the fans when approaching this game? And the hatred between the two clubs. It was interesting, some interesting...
and what do they see for the future of it as well?
Exactly.
It is. There's some really interesting comments from, as I say, Robbie, Hugh Wizzy, a few other boys as well.
That'll be on this channel tomorrow, actually, Friday.
On the Bull Street channel, sorry, not Long Bull Street.
Oh, sorry, Bull Street channel,
if you don't subscribe to Bull Street channel, then head over there and subscribe to that, because, it's going to be...
Lots more documentaries.
And lots, exactly, absolutely. Exciting times for Bull Street. Those were the days. All right, hang on, score prediction. Go on.
3-1.
3-1 to
Spurs.
Let us know your predictions for the game. Who's going to score, when, how, and with which foot. Those were the days. Here we go. This one is brought to you. If you've got... So those were the days is where we talk about things, tiny things in football that we miss.
Yeah.
If you've got any of those, then let us know in the comments below. Owen Reed, thank you very much, mate, for getting in touch. Only 3 subscribers Owen's got, so head over to Owen Reed and subscribe to him. So those were the days. I'm not sure if we're going to like this one or not, Flav. Let me know your thoughts. Those were the days. Circular yellow cards and red cards. What on earth have you got to say about that?
Nothing. I don't kind of remember them. I'm not sure.
Are they still writing down now? I used to think I used to remember thinking, where did they keep it? Like, it was there, wasn't it? I guess most of the time.
And they used to have a notepad, didn't they, for referees? But now do they just write directly onto the card?
Yeah, because when people get, I think so, or I think people used to get really. I used to get really confused. Sorry, people would get angry at a ref who'd given someone like 3 bookings. I remember thinking, that would happen all the time if I was a referee, because I wouldn't kind of. What's the process for making sure you don't make any kind of little mistakes and stuff
make a note. This guy has been booked once.
Yeah. There's also those are the days with referees. I would say that first of all, black referee kits, which kind of then changed in green. 94, 95. They went green, didn't they?
Green for a bit.
It was like a horrible green.
Yeah.
Now all the referees all look stacked, because I think they've got battery packs on there or something.
Well, they need the kind of receivers, don't they, from the
But yeah,
Yeah,
for the
pieces.
VAR.
Yeah.
He also said pitches surrounded by grass, sorry, glass,
That would be us.
rather than artificial turf. That's not of those were the days, because that still exists, isn't it? There's still a few of those knocking about. Old Trafford, I think, still got it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's obviously towards the end of the season with the line being run.
Here we go, it's a better one. Bizarre goalkeeper kits. Mid-90s, George Campos, of course.
Yeah,
I think probably the most...
He used to design his own.
Did he?
Yeah, he designed his own kits, he did.
Looked like it.
Yeah, he did. Horrendous, wasn't it?
David Seaman, I think, is one of the big ones. 1996.
Oh, yeah, like
Euro
the coloured
1996.
patches,
So
yeah.
grim.
Bit like our branding on there.
Yeah, true. And yeah, let us know the worst goalkeeper kits. A link in the comments would be nice as well. And finally, nice and random, Mark Viduka.
Yeah, that was David. Fatty Mark Viduka was...
What a piggy.
Yeah,
There
well,
was a piggy, it's
he's
Mark,
a
isn't it?
piggy footballer. But actually really effective. I like an amazing evening of football at Highbury when Leeds, who are near the bottom of the table, won a 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Did
He scored a brace.
He did. And that kept Leeds up, didn't it?
That's right.
I think he also scored... I think he scored 4 against Liverpool at home once. That Leeds side and sort of around the millennium was quality.
Yeah, I mean, they spent a lot of money, overspent, followed the dream, Peter Ridsdale. He's actually kind of a figure of ridicule, actually, but I think he's just a chairman that actually genuinely loved his club and wanted them to succeed and win that Champions League. They got the way to the semi-final and went out, but they overspent massively, drastically, giving huge contracts to
This sounds familiar.
very average players. And as you've seen them fall down the leagues, but still a huge football club, Leeds.
Just got a new manager as well. The Italian owners changed it. Paul Heckingbottom,
Yeah.
manager of Barnsley, signed a deal the other week. See you later.
Yeah.
So anyway, so those are the days. If you got any, let us know in the comments below. We'll read them out next week. Tiny things in football that you miss. Can be from a year ago. It can be from many years ago. It's that time again. Flav, you didn't get to introduce it last week because you weren't here.
Yeah. How did Rory do?
I don't think he did it. I think I might have done it.
All right.
Can you?
Yeah, Soldiers Lost in Battle, the time of the One for the Weekend podcast where you get to tell us a time when you missed out on a great football game because some other idiot has influenced your life in a negative way.
Totally. Right, here we go. Wrong one.
Lovely.
Sorry.
Production values.
Thanks.
You might want to not cover the...
Here we go. Soldiers Lost in Battle. Angus Doughty. 2014 World Cup. I was travelling around Southeast Asia on a typical post-A-level culture wank fest before going to university to do an equally as wanky BA in English and Theatre Studies. The first game of the World Cup was scheduled to be shown on a big screen at 5:30 a.m. at the pool bar of our hostel in Vietnam. So like all good Englishmen abroad, we got absolutely steaming, wrapped ourselves in a St George's flag and settled down to start our World Cup adventure. By kick-off, however, we were gone. The alcohol had us now, and I spent the whole game with my back turned to the big screen, whilst I passionately explained to the group behind me that Spurs would bounce back from a poor season, and that with the right guidance, Paulinho could be the next Vieira. I missed so much. Sterling's ghost goal from 50 yards, and my mate lobbing a sun lounger in the pool in rage, all because I wasn't willing to accept that Paulinho was dog shit.
Very good. Wordsmith, that guy, isn't he?
Very good. LP. Yeah, just LP. 14th of February 2016. I set my alarm for 4 a.m. I live in Australia, but always watch every Spurs game. At the time, Spurs were still in the hunt for the title and faced a huge challenge away at Man City. I was very excited and nervous. My alarm went off and I sprung out of bed and put my jersey on. The game was exciting and frantic with chances at both ends. That is when my girlfriend appeared in the doorway of the lounge room. I was sure that the volume was low enough not to disturb her, but that wasn't the issue. My alarm had woke her up. She couldn't get back to sleep. It was my fault. I tried to dismiss her and she left crying. She then knew that she could do the most damage by sitting next to me on the couch and complaining/crying. It was at that point that Harry Kane scored a penalty. I was doing my best to maintain my attention on what was becoming a season-defining performance from Spurs, while my beautiful girlfriend tried to upset me. We ended up having a big fight. Hang on, I need to go again. This happens every time, isn't it? Ericsson would score a brilliant winner. and I enjoyed the feeling of legitimately thinking we could win the title. But the exuberance had been only a fraction of what could have been if my girlfriend could have just gone back to sleep and left me be. I couldn't fully enjoy one of the best moments of a great season for Spurs. And final, Soldiers lost the battle this week.
I don't understand why she was crying.
It's go back to sleep, yeah.
Or just crying. Crying, I can't sleep. Yeah. Because of you and the football.
Yeah, she seems a bit dramatic.
Get
Maybe.
in the bin.
In the bin. Final one, David Ramirez. Soldiers lost in battle. It was May 21st, 2017. A massive day as a Gooner, as it was the final day of the 2016-17 season and our hopes of making the Champions League were slim. But I still had hope that somehow we can make it to our beloved 4th place spot with a little bit of help from Middlesbrough. However, this game was on the day of my girlfriend's birthday and we had reservations for this place in New York City to go have lunch there. I watched until the 5th minute.
I like the fact that he's focusing down on the bit. He still wants to watch some.
That's when we had to go out, as it was a long drive to get there, resulting in me missing the game. But you best believe I was glued to my phone the entire car ride. That's illegal. I was ecstatic as 3 minutes after I left the house, Bellerin opened the score. And then one other was added by Alexis Sanchez in the first half, and Borough still had Liverpool held at 0-0 near half-time. But then Liverpool scored right at half-time. I was still hopeful. I thought Borough could come back and at the very least tie the game. They ended up losing 3-0 and Arsenal beat Everton 3-1. I was in tears. I was in disbelief. I was bawling my eyes out to my girlfriend. The number of texts I got saying Europa League didn't help. My girlfriend then told me, "Can you pull yourself together? We're almost there." Being the emotional, deluded gooner I am, I replied with, "Fuck off. Arsenal was my first love," ruining the whole car ride as a result of all of this. The end.
I mean, it's all a bit pathetic, really, isn't it?
Well, hang on.
Crying because you got in the Europa League. All right.
Difficult. I mean, there's...
difficult? So when was the last time you cried at football?
When was the last time I cried at football?
Because if he's crying about being in Europa League, you must have been flooded to tears every day. Can you imagine looking at your club?
That's a good point. Club. That's a good point. David.
That's what you're laughing for, Ad. You should be...
We're on the up, don't we?
All right.
See you on the way past.
How'd you get in your last game?
See ya!
You lost your last game, didn't you? Only because your last game. We beat Barnsley 1-0. Great goal from Josh Scown against his former club. David Ramirez. Yeah, maybe try and pull it together. Yeah, but good story all the same. Thank you very much to everyone for your Soldiers Lost in Battle stories. Love reading them out. Yeah. It's good to pick them apart. Bin the girlfriend, I think is the main message from the second story.
The second one, I don't know, bin. Like maybe she had other issues.
Red flags.
Yeah, there are red flags. Yeah, like crying and complaining as you try and watch the game. Ultimately,
go to sleep. Oh my God, go to bed.
Yeah, or just get away. Ultimately, she's crying and because based on all the information we have, that's all we can go on, right? So she's crying her eyes out because you woke her up because she was watching football, a team you support and love, and if she knows you would like, she knows that you like football. So her choice was to try and ruin that. That's the issue here.
That is the issue, and ultimately, use your brain and logic. It's the middle of the night. Go back to bed. It's going to affect your day by not getting enough sleep. Final thing we're going to talk about this week: Man City versus Leicester. But more importantly, I want to talk about Vardy, who we said earlier in the podcast that he's flying again. Yeah. He's having a really strong season for Leicester City. Obviously less so, but no one really had a good season last year. Also, Leicester, really, you got to be so frustrated as a City fan. You kind of getting a real run of form. Those two players, Vardy and Mahrez, starting to kick into gear again. I think Harry Maguire's a really exciting player for them. Really good signing that they've made.
Yeah.
And then Mahrez just goes off the radar. That's outrageous that he's just gone, well, I didn't get the move I wanted, so I'm not coming in. Fucking get in, paying you stupid amounts of money. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'd be like, Leicester City fans, I'd be like, that's it. Because he's going sooner or later. People talking about like his legacy and stuff like that.
Legacy?
Wash your hands. Yeah. That's like, last week I said, look,
build his career.
Yeah.
And now he's going on strike.
It goes hand in hand.
Have a word.
But yeah, no. they were still willing.
Doesn't go hand in hand.
But the party line of Leicester's game was still willing to forgive him, I get it, but that can't be true.
No, it's like going back to Mrs. who perpetually and continually cheats on you. isn't it? I'll forgive her because she's beautiful, or I forgive her because I always have done.
Yeah.
No, there's a moment where you put a line in the sand and you say, I'm not having this anymore. I'm not going to be disrespected like this anymore. I'm moving on. Mahrez, not interested in what you have to say. You're not getting paid. You're going on a strike. That's that.
Yeah, maybe you are a 10, but your personality's average.
Yeah.
So
you may be very, very pretty.
But back to Jamie Vardy, who's doing very well for Leicester City, scoring lots of goals. Less pretty.
But quite effective.
But very effective, yeah, which I think is, God, the analogy really does work for both. You're looking for an effective woman or man in your life.
Yeah.
Moving forward to, I mean, this game itself, I've got stats here, but it's more on Man City, who are just an utter joke. One Man City stat is the goals, so, what is it? They've got, I forget that one. The goals have been shared about for Man City. 12 players have found a net in the league and 6 in the Champions League. 4 of their players are in the top 20 goal scorers.
I think the thing is that everybody is hypercritical about their season because they're comparing to what Man City are doing. When actually Liverpool having a good season, Spurs having a good season, Arsenal actually doing alright in terms of points amassed and, still in the Europa League, which is important.
Next season, are you hoping Man City drop or that you get closer?
It's a joke. It's a joke at the moment. It's literally, you spend... Pep Guardiola's come in and spent £500 million, still complaining that he wants more. And they're winning the league at a canter. They're not even trying. It's easy for them. That isn't healthy. That's not what we want. It's great for Man City fans, and they don't give a shit about what we feel or what our other fans are feeling and the integrity of the competition. But it's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
I said yes. I said at the start of the podcast. Who is Vardy? Should Vardy be on the plane to the World Cup? And if so, if he's part of your 5, who are your 5? Should we work on it together?
Yeah,
let's work on it together.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, I would put Harry Kane in as well.
Yeah, of course.
Harry Kane.
Jamie Vardy.
Rashford is on the plane for
Theo
me.
Walcott.
Theo what? If Theo Walcott scores 12 goals between now and the end of the season, should he be on the plane?
I don't know. Probably yes, in form base. As I said lots of times before, it isn't about form. It's not about picking form players. It's about having a manager in Southgate, and I don't know if he is capable of this, but he has to be because he is the coach. It's about him having a plan and understanding what players that he can pick and whether or not they can apply that plan. I get that sometimes you have players that are so good that you have to fit them in, but that's not a bad situation to have. But what I want to see is he knows his squad, he knows what they can do, and apply that plan going into the World Cup. So no, if Walcott scores 12 goals, he shouldn't be going.
Okay. So who are the other 2? Do you still go for recognised strikers? Because knocking about, people include, you got Sturridge, obviously not in great form. Defoe, barely playing.
No.
Others, Rooney retired. So there's not a huge Welbeck barely playing. So there's not a huge amount of options.
And a lot of them are you can't bank and you can't plan on them being fit.
Exactly.
Can you go with 3? Can we win the World Cup with 3 strikers? Probably.
I think ultimately we're probably going to play Rashford on one side.
We probably can't win the World Cup with 3 players, I should say, but I don't think our best option... And the thing is that it's not the same as when you needed a 9 and a 10 playing together. You need forward players. So Rashford, yes, but you got other forward players.
Solanke,
that aren't out and out strikers. Sterling would be classed as a forward now.
I guess so.
What I'm saying is that you need 3 those time attacking sort of forward players rather than a number 9 type.
Yeah,
striker.
I agree.
So if you take Vardy and Kane, that deals with your number 9, and then you need that attacking. We haven't got a great squad.
Tammy Abraham is another option. That's what I found interesting. Initially, you go, does Vardy get in? You go, yeah, definitely, because he's scoring goals and playing. Then after that, whereas 2016, I remember us doing a squad builder, saying who should be in the squad, and we had the one shining light for us was we had some really quality strikers who were
Vardy
flying.
was on fire.
Vardy was on fire. Kane was on fire. Sturridge was on fire. Rashford was on the scene.
The thing is, Rashford hasn't been playing up top, so it's. When you say forwards, midfield. There's midfield players that are going to be contributing to goals and assists in that more so than when you think of midfield. Historically, you think of like Gerrard, Lampard, but now it's about who can fit in that three behind the one if that's what we're going to play.
I'll tell you this though, we're going to win it. We're going to win the whole thing. It's going to be great. Heard it here first.
I just don't. I don't care. I don't think. Obviously, we're not going to win it. But I just want to. Just. Do you know what? I just want to get past the group stage so we can just have another night out. Like, let's just get one more. Cause it'd be so good just to you think, oh look, let's get through because we just do this all again once more.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's all. And I want bad.
I would like a knockout phase win. That would be nice.
That would be great.
And where the groups are, we've got a chance.
When was the last time we won a game in the knockouts?
I think it was Ecuador, 2006.
Wow, that's terrible.
Not great.
Not great, no. Like, just get past Iceland. That would have been great. The thing about the Iceland result, that Iceland result was that I was quite relaxed, and I was like, this isn't going to be a problem. We're going to get into the quarterfinals, and
yeah,
as you saw.
When even when they scored, you were like,
yeah, fine.
Well, no, come on now. Let's, okay, all right. It's, you've been funny. Score the goal now. Just never came to be.
Never came.
So there you have it. That is one for the weekend for another week. Let us know who your 5 forwards are that you would take on the plane for England. Let us know your thoughts on the North London derby. Who's going to win it? Who's going to score the winning goal? And what else are we talking about? Antonio Conte. Let us know your thoughts on who should replace him if he does go at some point.
More soldiers lost in battle.
And more soldiers lost in battle, please. Can we make it more horrific? More horrific, please.
Wanted.
And a few of those were the days as well. And get your trivia answers in. Loads of reasons to comment. Absolutely no reason not to comment. Hit like as well.
Unless they're busy or something.
Unless you're busy, yeah.
Might be busy.
Or you're washing with your hands, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Fan League. That's what's going to go. Check out the One for the Weekend League by downloading the app. The app is in the description. Subscribe to Long Ball Street. We'll be back next week. Thank you for listening or watching. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.